Scared after the UAE nuclear plant attack, did Trump dispatch mystery drones toward Iran in a discreet bid to signal resolve while avoiding open escalation? An alert was reported near sites described as Iran's underground missile cities, where unidentified drones were said to have flown close enough to trigger heightened local defenses and emergency responses. After what critics called a failed China trip, did Trump attempt to secretly target Iran's nuclear infrastructure using covert drone operations as a way to punish Tehran without launching full-scale strikes? Alerts were raised in Isfahan and on Qeshm Island as strategic sites that reportedly scrambled to intercept and assess mystery drones that local officials said overflew sensitive military and nuclear-related facilities. Air defense systems on Iran's Qeshm Island, located near the Strait of Hormuz, were activated on May 18, triggering a rapid military response to perceived airspace violations and putting local defenses on high alert. Small drones were reportedly spotted over the island, according to Tasnim News as cited by Iran International. Sightings that authorities say prompted immediate tracking and engagement measures. Iranian officials said their air defense systems were used to destroy hostile targets, framing the interceptions as successful defensive actions against an apparent incursion. Qeshm Island is a vital Iranian strategic asset and is often described as a geological fortress, thanks to its terrain and infrastructure that lend themselves to hardened military use and defensive depth. Iran's Qeshm Island is frequently called an unsinkable aircraft carrier, a nickname reflecting how Tehran has turned the island into a floating hub for air, missile, and naval operations in the Strait region. The island reportedly houses hidden underground missile cities, drone facilities, and naval assets, a combination of hardened sites that Tehran says are designed to store, conceal, and launch strategic systems when needed. Those assets on Qeshm Island are specifically intended to help Iran control traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, giving Tehran the ability to influence or threaten one of the world's most important maritime choke points. According to Iranian media, air defense systems were also activated in the central city of Isfahan on May 18, marking simultaneous alerts at both strategic island and inland sites as tension spiked. Isfahan was one of the nuclear sites struck by US and Israeli forces during the 12-day war in June 2025, a past attack that has left the city prominent in discussions of Iran's nuclear and defensive infrastructure. Isfahan previously housed a nuclear technology center that served as Iran's largest atomic research facility, making it a high-value target and a key node in the country's civilian and military nuclear apparatus. Isfahan served as a central storage site for Iran's stockpile of highly enriched uranium, making the city a linchpin in Tehran's nuclear infrastructure and a focal point for both defensive measures and foreign intelligence interests. Iran's enriched uranium was stored in heavily fortified underground tunnel complexes, facilities designed to protect sensitive materials from airstrikes and surveillance while complicating any external efforts to assess or secure those stockpiles. A Dubai-based journalist has explained why the Barakah nuclear power plant is seen as strategically and symbolically vital for the UAE. Al Jazeera spoke to journalist Natasha Turak after the reported drone attack on the Barakah nuclear power plant. Turak described the facility as a crowning achievement for the UAE, underscoring its national importance, according to Al Jazeera. Natasha Turak said, and I quote, "It is the first and only nuclear power plant in the Arab world. Built in partnership with South Korea for $20 billion, the plant began full commercial operation in 2021 and supplies about 25% of the UAE's electricity. The Barakah plant also plays a key role in the UAE's climate and net zero goals by 2050. The UAE operates the plant with help from the US, with which it has an agreement to import nuclear fuel rather than developing its own ability to enrich and reprocess uranium. It's really been upheld as an example for the world on how to develop a safe and peaceful nuclear energy program." Unquote. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack, which reportedly caused a fire at an electric generator. Emirati officials said there was no danger to the public and no radioactive leak following the incident. Meanwhile, an Associated Press journalist provided additional reporting and fresh details about the latest attack.
The United Arab Emirates says that a drone has struck a generator on the perimeter of its Barakah nuclear power plant. This is a major issue for the UAE, as the Barakah plant and its 4 reactors provide about a quarter of all electricity for this country on the Arabian Peninsula. No one has claimed responsibility yet for the attack. The UAE says that 3 drones came over its western border. It shot down 2 of them, and the other one was able to make the strike at Barakah. Now, the UAE says there's no radiological leak at the site. That's been confirmed also by the International Atomic Energy Agency, the UN's nuclear watchdog, and the UAE says it's still investigating who launched these drones. However, Iran and Iranian-backed Shia militias in Iraq conducted numerous drone attacks on Gulf Arab states during the war between the United States, Israel, and Iran that is still in a shaky ceasefire even today. This attack is likely to potentially draw the UAE further in. It's been trying to show that it's open again for business, that it's a safe haven for investments, but these continued attacks continue to shake this country, and it continues to draw into question whether the ceasefire will hold, particularly as US President Donald Trump has hinted that America could go back to combat operations as well. And on Iranian state television, we're seeing more people on air holding Kalashnikov-style rifles and promising to lay down their lives for Iran should the war restart.
Saudi Arabia condemned a drone strike near a nuclear facility in the United Arab Emirates, warning that the incident could pose a broader regional security threat. The attack on May 17 reportedly targeted an electricity generator located outside the Barakah nuclear plant in Abu Dhabi. Riyadh stated that the strike threatens regional stability and reaffirmed its full support for the UAE's sovereignty and security in the aftermath of the incident. Saudi Arabia also categorically rejected the attack during diplomatic communication with the UAE, according to Iran International. UAE Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan held a series of calls with regional counterparts to discuss the developments following the strike. Kuwait and Bahrain also condemned the incident, describing it as a dangerous escalation in an already tense regional environment. Kuwait said that targeting peaceful nuclear facilities violates international law and poses risks to civilian populations as well as the environment. Bahrain reiterated its solidarity with the UAE and praised the country's air defense systems for responding promptly to the perceived threat. Ahmed Abal-Gheit expressed relief after confirming that the fire resulting from the incident had been successfully contained. As Gulf countries expressed unified support for the UAE, Riyadh also reported drone incursions originating from what it described as Iraqi airspace. The UAE's nuclear regulator confirmed that there was no impact on the plant's safety, stating that all operational systems remained stable and fully functional. Authorities in the UAE have not yet identified the origin of the drone or the party responsible for carrying out the attack. The incident comes amid a fragile understanding between the United States and Iran, alongside ongoing efforts to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Notably, this is not the first such incident involving the UAE since the April ceasefire, indicating continued underlying tensions in the region. On May 4th, a fire broke out at the Fujairah oil depot, which the UAE later attributed to a drone attack it said was carried out by Iran. After the Barakah nuclear scare, the UAE acknowledged that the hostile drones had entered its airspace from the western border, a detail that immediately set off speculation about where they were launched. Abu Dhabi authorities said air defenses intercepted 2 unmanned aerial vehicles, while a third managed to reach an electrical generator facility linked to the Barakah complex and trigger a fire. The Emirati Defense Ministry stressed that investigations are still underway, signaling that, at least officially, they are not yet ready to attribute responsibility to any state or group. Officials have promised that more details will be released once the probe is completed, effectively asking both domestic and foreign audiences to hold off judgment for now. At the same time, the UAE underlined that its forces remain ready to respond to future security threats, framing the incident as serious but contained within its broader defense posture. On May 17th, a drone strike caused a fire at an electrical generator associated with the Barakah nuclear power plant, instantly raising alarms about the vulnerability of critical energy infrastructure. The attack occurred in the Al Dhafra region and, crucially, outside the plant's heavily protected inner perimeter, allowing Emirati officials to stress that the reactor itself was never in direct danger. Abu Dhabi's media office reported that no injuries were recorded and that radiological safety levels remained unchanged, seeking to calm fears of any nuclear leak or contamination. Authorities emphasized that the blaze was quickly contained by emergency teams and did not breach any of Barakah's core nuclear safety systems, framing the incident as a security warning rather than a nuclear accident.